What's going on, everybody? Alex here from the Football Guys, here to talk today's video, which is the top 5 2022 startup draft dynasty picks for full PPR leagues, 1 QB. So it's not a super flex league, but these are the top 5 picks right now that you should be making in any startup draft for 2022 dynasty leagues. And that is led off by the first overall pick, probably the best player in fantasy football right now, and that is Jonathan Taylor. Finishes the running back 1 overall this year at just 22 years old. He's never missed an NFL or a college game due to injury, not to mention the fact that he was 45 points ahead of the running back 2 this year in Austin Eckler. He checks all the boxes for a Dynasty 1.01 with age, production, injury concerns, and it seems like he's going to be one of the best fantasy football running backs for at least the next half decade at least. My number 2 pick for dynasty startup drafts would be Justin Jefferson. He is the dynasty wide receiver 1. He just set the record for the most receiving yards in NFL history through a player's first 2 seasons. And from his first year to his second year, he increased his receptions by 20, his yards by 216, his touchdowns by 3. Imagine what he could do in his third year and beyond. And this is while also finishing as a top 6 wide receiver in each of his first 2 years. And also, like JT, he's just 22 years old. And I think that he deserves to be the 1.02 in PPR leagues. My third pick is probably my craziest one and maybe my most controversial, but it's Deandre Swift. Going into the pre-draft process, he was one of 7 running backs ever to earn a 6.7 or higher grade from Lance Zierlein's running back grades. The other 6 running backs, Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook, Melvin Gordon, and Todd Gurley. 5 of those 6 players had a top 8 season in their first 2 years. The only one that didn't was Dalvin Cook. And this was Deandre Swift's second year where he's supposed to hit a top 8 season. He was on pace for a top 5 season before he got hurt. And again, you can see the other backs on this list and how great they are, and that kind of shows the category that he's in. Here's another stat that since 2017, there are only 3 running backs targeted on at least 23% of their routes in 21 or younger. Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Deandre Swift. He keeps making among these super elite company. He was a top 5 running back before he got hurt this year on one of the worst offenses and one of the worst teams in the entire NFL, and he's just 22 years old. As the offenses improve and Deandre Swift continues to improve, I think he's set to go nuclear in his third year and beyond, and people are severely underestimating how great he really is. He is my 3rd pick in startup drafts. My 4th pick is none other than Ja'Marr Chase. He just topped Justin Jefferson's rookie season in yardage and put up a total of 81 catches for 1,455 yards and 13 touchdowns. He's playing in an offense that's just going to get better and better. And beyond that, Ja'Marr Chase this year alone was a top 5 wide receiver in fantasy and was widely considered to be one of the best wide receiver prospects of the last decade. He's only going to get better. He's tied to one of the best QBs in the entire NFL. He's worthy of a top 5 dynasty pick, as he's set for greatness every single year to come. And my 5th pick is probably my second most controversial. It's none other than Christian McCaffrey, the most talented running back for fantasy football purposes in the NFL. And here's why. I know there's injury concerns, but you have to look at how great he's been the last couple of years, and that is why I have him here. So as 2017 as a rookie, running back 10. 2018, he was the running back 2 overall, just 0.3 points behind Saquon Barkley for the running back 1 overall. In 2019, we all know he dominated fantasy football as the overall RB1, the second greatest fantasy season of all time behind only 2006 LaDainian Tomlinson. And then in 2020, this is where things started to go bad. He only played 3 games, but he averaged over 30 points per game that year in just those 3 games. For a reference point, Alvin Kamara, who was the running back 1 that year, averaged 25. Christian McCaffrey averaged 18% more production in those 3 games and was just absolutely ridiculous. And then in 2021, in his 5 healthy games, he averaged 23.6 points per game, which was more than Jonathan Taylor's 22.5. I get that it's a small sample size, but as we've seen over the last 3 years now with Christian McCaffrey, he's been nothing but great each and every single year he's on the field. It's 3 straight years of him really being the running back 1 when on the field. He's younger than Alvin Kamara, younger than Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, and he's only a month older than Joe Mixon. He's never had an ACL, Achilles, or any type of brutal season-ending injury. Obviously, there's serious concerns about him holding up with that workload, but if he stays healthy, he's already a huge steal, and he's only 25 years old. I'm willing to bet on Christian McCaffrey here at the 1.05. But that is it for the top 5 dynasty picks overall in startup drafts for 1 QB PPR leagues. And as always, I hope you guys are enjoying Football Guys content each and every day more